Hi, today is going to be real talk. It's going to be a little bit of tough love. If you're new to the Emotional Leads podcast, welcome to episode 117. I'm Kim, your host. And go to the description or the show notes wherever you're watching this or listening to this, and make sure you pick up your free copy of the tapping video to teach you how to tap to relieve stress and stop emotional eating. I'm excited to share that our Emotional Leads community is also in full swing if you're looking for some support and don't want to do this alone. But let's get into this. This information today is purely to inspire and motivate and lift you up to make the changes that you want to make. So many women that I work with have so much motivation in other parts of their lives, but when it comes to emotional eating, losing weight, getting healthy, we fall off the wagon, and there are reasons why that happens. And if you're in that place and you're feeling really stuck today, I am here to help you reignite that fire, give you that tough love. This is not to make you feel bad. This is to help you feel seen. Because getting stuck is very, very easy. Unless you have someone with you every step of the way, it's really easy to revert back to habits that you don't want to be doing and forget about the habits that you do want to be doing. And too many women, I think, are beating themselves up when there are simple fixes to help us move forward. And friend, we can't get something for nothing. We do have to make these changes if we want the changes in our bodies, if we want the changes in our health, we want to feel better, feel confident again. So I'm going to move you forward into the reasons why I think that you may be getting stuck. So if you're getting stuck in your health journey and there are things that you wish you were doing, let's talk about this. So think about this. What did you do yesterday or today to support your health and your healing? I'm having you think about that. Not what you thought about doing. What did you actually do? Here's one of the first stumbling blocks. We do a lot of thinking and the action doesn't always take place. And again, even though this is tough love, I have compassion and no judgment because I know starting is really difficult. And so, for example, I don't let myself miss more than 2 days of working out because I know that even though I'm a health coach and I do this, I can turn 2 days into 3 days of not working out, 5 days of not working out, 7 days, because the habit to not do it can be just as strong after a while as the habit to do it. But you know, when you're doing something consistently, you do it without even thinking about it. You know it's something that's a part of you and it makes you feel good. I hear a lot of things like, I want to stop snacking at night. I want to stop eating when I'm not hungry. I want to stop crashing at 3 and going for the sugar and the caffeine. But these are the things that we talk about over and over again, and these are the things that didn't happen. No shame, no guilt here, just sharing. We didn't take the pause before eating. In fact, we probably didn't take the pause throughout the day. Waiting until the eating is a little bit too late. We didn't drink water because we forgot to set the alarm. We forgot to keep the water bottle with us. We forgot to put the glass out in front of us. We didn't get outside for our 10-minute reset because we chose to scroll on the phone. We didn't prep any food for the day. We said we were tired. We didn't go to bed at a decent time. Maybe we were binge watching something or scrolling or got into a really good book. That one's the least that I think would cause problems. We didn't ask for help. We didn't ask for accountability. We didn't talk to someone about wanting to be held accountable. And we didn't check in with our community or our coach. So those are some of the things that we could be doing, but what's stopping you from doing that? Instead, it's, I'll start once the wedding's over. I'll start once the vacation's over. I'll start on Monday. And believe me, I have so much compassion for you. This is not to shame you and it's not to make you feel bad. But if you want to change, you can't keep doing the same thing over and over again. It's not aligning for you. So it's not about not doing the right thing or being what some of my clients say, being bad. It's about it's not aligning in your life with what you want. These habits are not in alignment with what you have said that you want to do. It's actually avoidance in some way. So it's interesting because avoidance, as we know, because we talk about emotional eating so much, avoidance can cause emotional eating. We use emotional eating also as a comfort when we are avoiding something else. So it can be a very vicious cycle. And here's a hard question for you. This is a hard question. I want you to really think about it. Are you truly ready for change? Because wanting it's not enough. You have to really be ready for change. So I have clients that will come to me and they'll start and they will try, but they won't do. And it's okay because there's something that's causing the resistance. There's something that's holding them back. And sometimes they'll go away for a few months and they'll come back and they'll say, you know what, I just wasn't ready. And now I'm ready. And I don't want you to be ready only when you have a health emergency or only when something's making you sick. I want you to be ready when you truly are ready and feel confident in the fact that you can make these small changes. But I think that's part of being ready, is understanding that this is not a quick fix. We're not dieting. When we make these changes, we're making small, sustainable changes. And change doesn't show up with perfect timing. Change shows up over time through the bad times, through the good times. When you're making those little steps to help yourself and doing the things you know you need to do through the good times and the bad times, even when you're stressed, even when you're tired, even when you're having a fight with your spouse, or even if you're feeling overwhelmed, when you're still making small changes to help your body, help your brain, help your emotional self, that's when we actually start to see change, is when we're making decisions, not excuses, even throughout those harder times. And it doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. What it means is you may not be ready. And if you truly want to stop emotional eating and making decisions, proactive decisions about your health, your eating, your exercise, even mental health or even emotional health or spiritual health, we have to practice those pauses throughout the day. And I bring up that word a lot in many, many episodes. We have to be mindful and take the time to slow down so that we can make the decisions. Our brain is very busy, very active all day long. And when we're trying to make decisions in some of the more active parts of our day, it's challenging because we're going to make decisions that are easier and more comfortable. That doesn't always mean eating the food that is nourishing. And it doesn't always mean taking the 10-minute walk instead of grabbing the afternoon cookie and coffee. We need to build nourishing routines, adding things into your life that feel good for you, they fit you, they align with you. Those are the things that we need to be doing, but slowly adding those in on a daily basis. And you know what? We forget. One day we might forget to do some of the things that we said we were going to do. And we're going to have some tips to take care of that. The hardest part, I think, is asking for help. So whether it's asking a friend to be accountable, your spouse or your significant other, or hiring a coach or being a part of our community, it's hard to say it out loud when you really need help. But when you realize other people are working on the same things and they need the same help, it makes it a little bit easier to reach out. We're all trying to improve on this planet. You are human and you are allowed to ask for help. You've probably done things your whole life, taking care of the kids, taking care of all the things around the house, taking care of a job. You don't have to be fully in control by yourself and do something. So in this diet, all or nothing, quick fix, hustle world, we're always wanting to do all of it. And I'm an all or nothing person, so I can completely relate to this. If you are trying to do all the food perfectly, you're trying to get 5 workouts a day, and you are struggling, that is a crash and burn situation. Doing a 10-minute walk every day for 5 days, having one meal like your breakfast be really nourishing until you can add on and do the lunch, and then add on and do the dinner. Start with one place. Find that weak moment that you can actually fix, and then you add on from there. Then you take some weights and you do one set until you can do many sets and move on to other exercises. So here's the problem in this world. We're in the instant gratification trap, and the world that we live in does not make it easy on you. You are really fighting a little bit against the world. I was talking with a client this morning, and as you know, I mostly work with women, but I was working with this man, and he made such a great point. He said, when we're trying to make good choices for our health, we are in a little war against society. And it's so true because we don't wait for anything. You text someone, you expect them to text back right away, or they expect you to text back right away. We expect people to pick up the phone. Remember when we had a landline and an answering machine? We did not expect to be running home, although some of us waiting for a boy to call would be running home and hoping to pick that phone up and not miss that call. But now everything is right online. We look up things. We say, hey Siri, what's the population in whatever the place may be. Any information we want to know, we look it up right away. We get groceries that can show up at the door, or we can pull up and not even go in the grocery store. We can binge watch an entire season of a show in one night if we wanted to. There's so many things that we can just click on. And when you turn on your TV, we have so many choices, almost too many. Mike and I will sit there and it'll take us 25 minutes just to pick a show because of all the different networks that we can go on. Dinner is a drive-through away, or Uber Eats or DoorDash. And we can take care of our discomfort by literally picking up our phone and scrolling. We have quick comfort immediately and the ability to get food to comfort us immediately. But your body does not operate like Amazon Prime. Even if you wanted to lose weight, yeah, you can lose weight in 2 days, like you can get a delivery in 2 days. But is that sustainable? And is it real weight? And is it the kind of weight that you want? You can make a change for 2 days, but if it's not a consistent small change over time, it isn't going to last forever. So please remember that your metabolism, your hormones, your digestion, your emotional processing, they require patience and consistency. Patience on your part, consistency on your part. And when things fall apart, consistency is not, oh, I give up, I'm just going to eat everything and quit working out. Consistency is, wow, that wasn't the best day. So here we go. Let's make the next right choice. Let's make the next great decision. And it doesn't have to be waiting until tomorrow. You can pick it up in the next meal. And healing for sure does not happen overnight. Any of you who have dealt with any kind of healing from trauma or grief or any feelings that you've gone through, a breakup, it's so not linear, and neither is your health. But the diet industry has taught you to believe everything is so quick and easy, and you're just going to do all this and it's all going to drop off, and for the rest of your life you're going to be happy because you're going to have the body that you want. It's going to look like the person that's on the cover of whatever diet or whatever workout program. So tiny steps matter way more than bigger ones, and your nervous system has to feel safe. And when you drop everything, a food group, or you try to exercise too hard right away, your nervous system doesn't feel good, and it's going to compensate by wanting to do something safe, which is probably not healthy. It's probably going to reach for food or junk food or alcohol or scrolling. And you don't have to make every step every day, but making a step is also going to check a box in your brain. For those of you who are like me, I'm a to-do list girl. I like to check boxes. I like to track things. It checks a box in your brain if you're doing one little thing. Drink water before you have coffee in the morning. That's a very small thing. We all need to be super hydrated. Drink a glass of water before you drink your coffee and while it is brewing. Pack one nourishing snack with you today. Something that's going to feel really nourishing, that's not going to dip into the processed food and sugar and spike your blood sugar. Walk for 10 minutes instead of scrolling. I find that I will hop on my phone and open up Instagram or TikTok without even thinking, when I really could be doing a walk down. My mailbox is 1/8 of a mile away. So I can get 1/4 of a mile in just by walking to my mailbox and back. And that would serve me more than opening up the scroll and then getting caught in that loop and then going through comparisonitis and all the other things. Taking 3 deep breaths before every meal, which can also be done while you're saying some form of gratitude over that meal, so that it slows you down to eat those first few bites really slowly and really enjoy. Journaling one paragraph, not one page, one paragraph at night. Journaling 3 things, maybe 3 gratitude, maybe 3 words that describe how your day went. instead of making yourself do so much at one time. I used to put a lot of pressure on even my devotionals, and I've gotten to the point where rather than skipping it, I still would rather just read a verse than skip it, because then I will get out of the habit. To me, my spirituality is just like my food and my exercise. I have to practice those habits every single day. Emotional eating, and this is the truth that I want to share with emotional eating, losing weight, all of it, it's the in-between moments that are the miracles. It's the little moments of you doing things even when you don't want to, in the smallest of times and the smallest of habits. Those are the miracles that are happening over and over and over again to build your success, to feel healthy, to feel better about what you're doing with your body. Those little miracles are not the big diet. They're not the huge workouts. They're the little things that you do every single day. And those can build up to more and more habits where you are feeling really strong. So let's be real too. Again, I'm going to give you some tough love right now with compassion and no judgment though. But I'm going to be serious about this. I hear excuses all day long. I had a long day. I'm exhausted. I had a fight with my spouse. I was triggered at work. This person didn't speak nicely to me. All the different things that could possibly come up, everyone has them. And yes, we don't want to constantly be dealing with that stress, but we have to actively work on the tools to feel better from those events. And the tools that we are working on are just as important for the nervous system and the emotional system as the food that you put in your body, because the food that you put in your body helps you with the hormones that help you react to situations throughout the day. The exercise helps process your day. There are so many connections between the emotional, the psychological, and the physical and the mental support that you're giving yourself, just little bits of it all day long. But when you're making choices, and these are harsher things, like if you're vaping or smoking, those are harsher things that are going to have an effect on your health that we know about that are very big. But if you're doing smaller things throughout the day and you're using it as a way to cope, eating the chocolate every 20 minutes because it's in the office and you are stressed out doing your job, or not taking the walk because you are getting home at the end of the day and you're too tired to just walk the 10 minutes. Those little tiny choices that you're making could be affecting one, that could be the one walk that's going to get you started to go every day. That chocolate could be the one chocolate or the second chocolate that's going to just trigger you to just go down a 2-week sugar binge. Those little steps, it's either one way or the other. But when you say no one time, or say not yet, because we have permission to eat, not yet, you empower yourself. And that is a checkbox in your brain again. We're checking off things in our brain, and your brain notices, your body notices. When you take that 10-minute walk, your brain notices, your body notices. So you have to create support structures because everyone's human, and all those things that I said for excuses, and you have your own, is to put a support structure in place, whether you have a community, a friend. So I have the community, and we talk in the community every single week on Tuesdays. And I also, in addition to having that for other women, I have a community of women that I text with every day or I talk with every day. And I share what's going on. I share how I'm feeling and why I might have gone off the rails if something happened. And the going off the rails is really interesting because it always has something rooted. So let's say I just picked up some food and I didn't cook for myself that evening because I was just tired, upset, something happened in a conversation with someone. I'm kind of making that up as I go. But what didn't happen is me processing that conversation. What didn't happen is me taking a pause. What didn't happen is me doing that tapping video for my transition from work to home life. That tapping video is in the description and the show notes. Those are things that I could have done, and I actively forget. I say actively forget because when we don't practice them, we don't know to go to them. If you don't use your tools actively, you will actively forget them. Trust me, I know. I do it all the time. So we have to make sure that you're building in stress relief every day, creating an opportunity to have healthy options. And yes, I know that takes planning. Everyone has an excuse why they can't plan ahead and have the right groceries in the house. And I understand. But again, today's tough love. As much as I love you and I am compassionate and not judging, there are a lot of excuses flying around. And I have to even admit to my own. But if you are also not choosing to move your body. And I hear so many reasons. I'm in Florida at the height. We are at the height of the most humid, hot days. And every afternoon we have a thunderstorm right now. Sunshine State? I think not. Not right now. But I can come up with excuses. I went out today and fought the gnats and the mosquitoes and did my walk because I wanted to check the box in my brain. And now I know I've done a walk. I won't tell you how long because that's your choice what you do. And I lifted weights yesterday. And I'm going to share with you, there are some days I don't get to lift as long as I want to, or I go in and I'm not feeling it. And what I do is I just say, I'm going to go and do just 3 sets of squats and see how I feel. Well, after those 3 sets of squats, 9.999% of the time, I'm ready to move on and do an upper body. And if there's days that I'm really pressed for time, I'll just do 2 lower and 2 upper body. So you have to make it work. And my client today, I was laughing because he said, we kind of have to gamify it, make a game of it. Just go in and check the box on 2 and 2, 2 lower, 2 upper, 10 minutes of walking, 20 minutes of walking. And if you really cannot deal with the heat, I do it on purpose. I walk in the heat so that I'm acclimated to it so it doesn't become my excuse. But there's some big stores out there that you can go walk around for a little while. And they're pretty comfy. Just put your sneakers on. You can act like you're shopping, grab a shopping cart if it makes you uncomfortable just to walk. There are a lot of places you can go that are big enough that you could walk around. You might have to stop, veer around people, but you can make it fun, make it a game. We want the outcome, but we want to skip the process. You want to lose weight, you want to stop emotional eating, but you want to skip the process in between. And isn't the process life? Isn't the journey what it's all about? The ups and downs that we have with friends and with family and life, that's what our journey is. That's what it's about. Our outcome, our full result. When we focus only on that, then we forget to be present and mindful and content and joyful in today. And if you can take these habits and find a way to make them joyful, then you won't mind doing them every day. So, for example, I have had clients come to me and say things like, please don't make me eat kale. I would never have you eat anything that you don't like. I don't even prescribe food. We just talk about pros and cons. You get to build your menu. It's on you to build that menu. But it just cracks me up that we have such set ways that are really from diet culture on what we should be doing. And you still can eat food that is amazing. It may be good for you, but it can be amazing. It doesn't have to be things you don't want to do. If you're not a runner, you shouldn't be running just because you see people out there and you think they're losing weight. In fact, as a runner, I was not as healthy as I could have been because I wasn't lifting weights and I wasn't eating food appropriately to have the healthiest body I could. And so we see something and we want it. We think that we see somebody else doing something, we should just jump on it. My friend lost 30 pounds doing that diet, so that's what I'm going to try. And even when you say for yourself, well, that diet worked for me, it didn't work for you if you gain the weight back. What works for you is say your name in front of that diet. That's what's going to work for you. I'm on the Kim diet. You say your name and say, I'm on the blank diet, whatever your name is, because that's what's best for you. It's the diet, and I don't like the word diet. It's the eating and nourishment plan that's going to make your body feel the best and make your body look the way you want it to look and for you to feel confident and feel really good in it. So I want to ask you something really important right now, and this is for you to reflect on and maybe even journal on. What is your health worth to you? Because we can't get something for nothing. What is your health worth to you? And you don't have to be perfect in this process, but you have to participate in your transformation. It's not just going to show up. And we can do it in a way that even in our 50s, 60s, as we get older, that we can actually enjoy it, because guess what? Life is not about being skinny. It's about being able to move, pick up grandkids, hike, go up and down curbs, be able to have fun, maybe get up and down off the floor with our grandkids, be strong, be able to pick those kids up, pick up groceries. The things that we want to be able to do in life, and to travel and get on and off airplanes and in and out of, tour buses if we're traveling, all the things that you want to do, there's a price to pay to be able to do it. And it's a small price of that consistency that we've talked about. So I'd also love for you to think about your values. What do you value in life? Do you value family, integrity, compassion, respect? Are you doing all those things for yourself? Are you using those values to create how you work daily to take care of yourself? I feel that people forget their why, or maybe they haven't created the why in the first place. What is the reason why you want to feel this way? And some people will come in and their first why is, I just want to lose weight. I just want to look better. But the bottom line is, they really want to feel good, feel energized. Women want to feel confident. Do you want to feel confident? Do you want to feel good in the type of clothes that you want to wear? Do you want to feel like you're not completely out of control with food? Do you want to feel like you can do anything you want, any activity that you want to do? Because we get to a certain point where we're like, ooh, I don't want to do that because I might get hurt. We don't want to be in that space when there's fun things to do. Try to figure out what your goals are and how can you remember them every day. And I am with you. I forget so many times when I'm really tired, I'm out of it. I really have to have a reminder every day what my goals are. When I come home from work, I'll still sometimes go straight to the pantry. But my goal is to have something nourishing so that I go into dinner enjoying dinner with my husband, but also not feeling gross going into dinner and then compounding that feeling of stuffed and uncomfortable because I ate the wrong things, and also not creating that inflammation. But here's the thing, if I don't take the time to have a transition from my car, from work to the house, then that was on me. The food is gone. That happened. We're out of control at that point. What I did have control over is taking a moment for myself as I was coming in the house and realizing what I really need was not food. I needed a big glass of water and a moment to myself. How many of you are like that at the end of the day? Sometimes you just need a little alone time, and that would solve a lot of problems. But you're not using the accountability that you say you want, and the accountability is for you, to yourself, to treat yourself well and make sure you even are getting the self-care in. And I want you to write down your goals at some point and put them where you can see them, or write them in code if you don't want anybody to know what they are. Your mirror, your fridge, your planner, your wallet, your phone, wherever you're going to see it, because we have to have reminders every day. And I even forget my own goals. So what I'll do is when I plan something like a workout, I'll plan 3 months at a time and then it's done. I don't have to think about it. I'll plan a week at a time of something I'm going to do, and I write it on my calendar for every day. You get to decide how you want to do that. And if you need more ideas, definitely join our community, because we give each other ideas on how to not only stay accountable, but what we could be doing to help ourselves get through the day, making the right decisions. The other thing that I have done is put reminders in my phone that say things like pause, nourish, breathe. But here's the thing, you have to change up your reminders, because it's like having that Post-it on the fridge. After a while, that Post-it just becomes a part of the fridge. If you've ever done that, I will have Post-its on my desk and they literally become a part of the landscape. I forget that they're even there. So make sure you're changing up your messages to yourself weekly to inspire you. Use your community, get support. Every week, do a reflection. I was so excited. One of my clients said, I'm doing a self-evaluation at the end of every week, saying what went well. We're not beating ourselves up. What went well? What can I do better next week? And then she writes it down. What can I do better next week? This is not a beat up session. This is not a guilt and shame session. It's just tough love for yourself, because I have a lot of compassion for the habit changing that has to take place, but is very hard to do. And that's exactly what I work with people on. Health coaching is so much fun because I'm not doling out, hey, this is exactly what you should eat. This is what you should do for your exercise plan. We look at your life. Where can we slip in any tiny, tiny health habit that is going to stack up and eventually feel so good? I had a client who used to go to the gas station every day on the way to work. And within a week of making very small changes, making coffee at home, making breakfast at home, it just took a couple days and then she was off and running. It took a week before she was doing it very, very consistently. And I understand she got a new job and it all started over again because we know that when we get in a new environment and things aren't structured and safe, we revert back to things that make us feel really comfortable. So we're starting over again. But guess what? That's part of the process. You get to start over, but it's when you let it all go and you feel bad that you have to start over, that's when things go wrong. So here's a moment of truth. You want the change, you want to feel better, but the in-between work has to happen. So start writing down the little in-between things that you can do, because remember, that's where those miracles happen. Because if not, you're going to stay stuck. And if you need help, you need to reach out, because feeling stuck makes things even worse. And if you're avoiding the small steps for some reason, what's going on with your resistance? Why are you avoiding them? What do you feel like you're giving up? I had a client recently say, well, giving up all the junk food and all the processed food and the sugar and the ice cream, it feels like a loss. And yes, it feels like a loss, because what you're losing is that easy way to comfort yourself. You have to actually do a little work to find other ways to comfort yourself and make yourself feel better. And that is a loss. It's you having to step up and feel empowered to use other tools besides that. It's just like scrolling. We go to the fastest, easiest way to feel better. And our brain is very smart. We even can think ahead about that dopamine hit. And so we're looking forward to it. And it's really hard once we make that decision that we're going to have that to backtrack out of that decision. So if you've already made the decision that you're going to do things in a different way, your brain is moving towards that decision. And try not to make too many tough food choices at the end of the day, because you've been making choices and decisions all day long. We don't have anything left at the end of the day. That's why we need to meal prep. So here's what I'd love for you to do now. 1, write down your goals. 2, figure out what your values are. Maybe even write yourself a mission statement. 3, download the free tapping video that will help you reduce stress, calm your nervous system throughout the day if you're needing some help with that, especially at the end of the day. It helps with that late day eating, but just tapping in general can help you when you're having some stressful moments. Check into the link in the show notes in the description for the Emotional Eats community. We have a community to help each other and for you to not feel alone, where we talk about all of these things. And we get to talk about not only these struggles and feeling stuck and how to get out of it, but we check in with accountability, and we also really celebrate even the smallest things that are going well, because that's what I want you to celebrate. Celebrate the really small things. I appreciate you being here and listening to this and understanding that my tough love is not judgmental, but if you want change, and I'm going to change those words for you, even though my tough love is non-judgmental and I have a lot of compassion for you, and I want the best for you, this episode is for you to start figuring out if you're making excuses or if you have real things that are getting in the way. And that's a list that you can make also. So I invite you to explore and make sure you reach out to me and let me know what you think of the episode. And if there are some things that you are going to change in your life, connect with me on Instagram. I'd love to hear from you. Connect in the comments on the YouTube video. And let's talk about how you are going to stay connected, how you're going to stay grounded and show up for yourself, even in the smallest of the ways. Because remember, the smallest ways are actually the little miracles. Make sure to nourish your entire life this week and give yourself tons of grace in the process.